to Bourbon Taste-Offs, playoff brackets of the best whiskeys. Join us in our season-long quest to find our tastiest bourbon. And here is the bracketology of our last 6 months of Taste-Offs. We are halfway done with the 4-quarter year. We are anxious to find what our next 2 quarterly winners are. We're narrowing it down from 192 bottles to just one. Follow along to find out what our tastiest bourbon is. Cheers. Hello, welcome to Bourbon Taste-Offs. Thank you for joining us. And I just want to remind everybody that there's options of listening to this and also watching it. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. And you can watch it on YouTube and Rumble. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Todd.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Joe.
And in today's episode, it's episode number 44, and it is Barton 1792. And we have a small batch, we've got a single barrel, we've got a bottle and bond, and we've got a full proof. So it's all Barton 1792. And they come up with their name. 1792 is the year that Kentucky became a state. So that's kind of where that comes from. So we're going to taste all these. It's probably all the same mash bill, so it might be a little difficult in differentiating them from each other, but it's all Barton 1792, and it's typically pretty good juice. The first quarterly winner that we've had in this episode was the Chestnut Farms Bottle and Bond, and it was a Barton 1792 product. So it stands up.
Yeah, it must.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It's really pretty good. We're going to show you the lineup right now, and here it is. The bottle lineup in this episode is in glass 1, it's the single barrel at 98.6 proof. In glass 2 is the bottled and bond at 100 proof. In glass 3 is the small batch at 93.7 proof. And in glass 4 is the full proof at 125 proof. Welcome back. So like I said, it's going to be probably pretty tough to differentiate other than maybe proof. You know, some might be a little hotter. I think it goes like a 93 proof, a 98 proof, 100 proof. Obviously, the bottle and bond is going to be 100. And then the full proof is 125. So we should get a little hint of that. The full proof is actually the 2020 whiskey of the year.
Really?
Ooh. So, yeah. So these should be pretty good. So, Chris, we've got a 3-sided die here. If you want to roll that, we're going to add 1 to it. Obviously, we want to find out what 2, 3, or 4 is going to go against 1. So if you want to...
Have you thought of just getting a 4-sided die and then you roll twice and then it's that number versus the other number?
That's too complicated.
You always single out number 1.
Yeah, because it kind of doesn't matter.
So 2.
So 2. So 1 and 2. So
2.
we don't have to change it at all.
There we go.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, like 1 is random to us anyway. Like we don't know what it is. So if you start with 1, it really doesn't matter. You know.
Well, at that point, then just always do 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's a good point. But this is fun.
We get to roll the dice.
Are you taking the fun? Are you taking the fun away from me?
I said roll it twice. I'm trying to double the fun.
You are trying to. I appreciate the effort. Speaking of fun, and we're in. Yeah, that was good that I went away from the microphone while I was saying that. But we are in Wisconsin, and I just recently bought a 1.75 liter of Larceny bourbon, and it came with a hat, like a cap.
Nice.
Stocking cap. I'm going to put it on.
Very nice.
There we go. Now I can't even hear anything, though.
You look like
you didn't want to try putting the hat over the headphones?
I should. Really geek out, right?
Are you going to go out and grill us some hamburgers?
Ooh, that would be fun. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Hold my beer. All right, so 1 against 2, and we're going to cheers.
Salute.
Cheers, guys.
Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you guys for coming over and tasting some bourbons with me. I do hate to drink alone, although I'm not opposed to it.
Right off the bat, for me, it's punchy.
Is it? Did you taste it already?
I haven't. But
okay.
the smell,
just the nose.
Strong to me.
Yeah, I had that too.
Like right away.
Immediately right in the nose.
Yeah, it's kind of early in the day. This is probably the earliest recording we've done. So it's a little afternoon.
That's generally when you know you got a problem.
That right. I know. I mean, we're kind of in the playoff season too, though. We kind of want to watch some football as well. So we're like, let's get together.
That's what I'm doing after this.
Yeah, me too.
You get the tannins immediately as soon as it hits the mouth.
Oh wow, yeah, you do.
I don't know if that's across all of Barton 1792.
Yeah, we're going to find out. That's for sure. But yeah, I didn't get it really off the nose, but after tasting it, it is kind of punchy.
Well, and I got the punch from smelling it, but I didn't think it was that over the top. It does have a long burn, though.
I was going to say, yeah, it's still going
It's
on
really
the tongue.
going, yeah, and
Yeah.
The whole back side of the tongue is still basically tingling.
Now
Right.
I'm changing my view. I'm almost feeling like this might be one of the stronger of the bunch.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We will see because, I mean, as we taste them, we'll get a better sense of it. And yeah, when you first taste a bourbon, you do have to kind of warm up to it because
Yeah.
even if it's 80 proof, if it's your first drink, it's going to feel strong. Like it's not like a...
But it's still lingering.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely got a long burn. But it's good.
I'm trying Adam's warming smelling,
There you go.
and I'm not getting much. It's a little of the bready.
Oh, okay. I'm trying
Like
to
my
think if I
previous-
know anything about the mash bill of Barton.
That's the
1792.
That's the bagel you were eating before you got here that you're smelling.
It was a croissant.
Croissant.
A croissant
All right, I
witch.
should
Yeah.
try this one more.
Yep. Yeah, I warmed up with a Fitzgerald. Since I got a 1.75 of it, I had a little bit on the rocks and tried that to warm up my palate. And then Chris brings over this real expensive Irish whiskey. Like, we kind of looked it up on this app I have. Like, there's some that said it's like worth $40,000.
Not mine, definitely.
No,
But even still.
and
yeah.
the app is actually people that the users can actually input their own kind of price, what they think it's worth and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not always that accurate.
In that case, I changed my mind. Mine is $200,000.
Right. But only Monopoly
Can I
money.
get an amen?
Right. Any buyers here? Yeah, I'm gonna move over now to
Yeah.
2.
That's proof plus too.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I'm gonna go on record. I think that's proof plus.
This one does not have any of that punch in the nose right away. I did not get that.
Yeah, I didn't. This one's sweeter.
He just didn't even smell it. He's
No,
like, "Well,
I really couldn't smell either one of them. Like neither of them are like.
The other one I did. This one is
This is
very
completely
subtle. It's
opposite.
Yep.
I gotta take this hat off. This is hot.
This is a complete opposite from number one. Like there's no punch to it at all in the nose.
It is sweeter.
Yeah. I'm wondering what would make that be the case, other than, I mean, yeah, you do get sweetness off of a barrel. Sometimes it's a caramel, sometimes it's a vanilla. Although corn is the sweetest grain you can introduce into a whiskey. So maybe potentially it could be like not aged as long, or it could be aged a little longer, based on what the wood could provide to it.
Boy, I think there's another bottle about to be added in my collection. I really like this one.
Do you?
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Sweet, smooth. It's nowhere near the burn staying around as this one. There's a little bit, just enough to go and tickle the tongue in the back of the throat, but then it's like, hey, I'm just going to trail off now.
Yeah, the first one was way longer burn.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's worth a retaste though. Sometimes, like I said, just starting out tasting a bourbon's going to be a little off-putting. And then you just kind of warm up to it.
Yeah, it does have the sweetness too, right off the bat.
It does. I didn't get
get that from one. At all.
I didn't know. I didn't get like the tanniny taste that I got from one. Like it's.
And the viscosity on these are pretty nice too. It's almost the viscosity of like a olive oil or something, where it's like, obviously not the taste of it, but if you were to have that viscosity, reminds me of that.
Yeah, this proof on this one I think is probably one of the lower ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd
It might not be the lowest, but it's going to be one down towards the lower area.
I'd put down proof negative. I don't know if it'd be quite, but I think it's.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I get the burn, I almost want to say it's neutral.
Okay.
'Cause there is a burn there that you get from something with a little more punch.
You think 2 is more neutral or 1?
I think 2 is more neutral than 1 for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
But you started out saying that you thought 1 was higher proof.
Yes, 1 is higher proof.
Oh, okay. So I see
is-
what you're saying.
2 is, I think, it's still. I don't think it's going to be the lowest proof out of the batch. I think it's going to be in the middle somewhere.
Like the 100 or 98 one.
I'm guessing.
Okay.
Because there's still, I mean, it's still got a burn to it that you would expect from a higher proof.
Yeah.
That is a good, smooth, really drinkable.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's one you'd have.
On the regular.
I'd have, yeah, exactly, more times in the night. 1, I do like it, but one is definitely a slower drink. You're like, I'm gonna have this, and this is kind of my one for the night, or then I'll move to something else. This is like the
agree.
night starter.
I agree.
Yeah. I almost think 2 is a little darker. You did say they all kind of look similar.
I thought so.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah. Or am I just like holding it up against the wrong?
And that's just it, especially with the way the glass is. It's kind
Right.
of depending on which light you go into.
I think 1 might be a smidge darker.
Oh, you do? Okay.
See,
little
I'm
bit,
kind of with
just a little
it,
bit.
depending on which way I go. I mean, if I move to here, it's like, oh, 2's darker. Then as soon as I go over here, nope, now 1 is darker.
Okay.
But I know when I first sat down and I looked at those 4 options, I was like, boy, they all look the same. So
Okay.
what's the catch?
Right.
Like, what are we doing? Because I don't see much of a difference. So once you shared it with us, it was like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
2 looks darker from this angle.
I kind of thought 2 was a little darker, but you're right. They're not that drastically different. So so we'll see.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would say that 2, are these all aged the same?
That's what I don't know. I mean, Barton 1792 does have a 12-year, and that I think is the only age-stated one that they have. Otherwise, I mean, if it is one of the bottle and bond, obviously it has to be at least 4 years for that. And every other one, if it's not listed, it's also got to be at least 4 years. So, and I did not see an age statement on any of them. So I would think that they're all at least 4 years old.
And after doing a bottle and bond tasting with you a while back,
Yes.
I'm starting to think that number 1 might be it.
Okay.
Because you know how I like more of a mellow, not as punchy.
Yeah.
So the bottle and bond tasting is kind of in my head.
Sure.
And boy, that seems like it might be 1.
Yeah, I agree that it does seem to be proof neutral, and neutral would be around 100 for us.
Okay.
So I do have 1 picked as far as what I think is.
So you're
better.
thinking, just to get
Sure.
before we pick. So you're thinking that 1 is actually the bottled and bond proof neutral, and 2, which is definitely lighter. Which I don't know. This one definitely 2 definitely seems like it is.
So let me clarify, because Todd's got a hangover. So number 1, I'm of the opinion that it has a longer burn and it's proof positive.
Okay,
Proof plus,
so-
not neutral.
Not neutral.
Oh,
so
I see.
Not neutral to
Okay.
me.
Okay.
Okay.
He might feel different, but he's
Okay.
got a more advanced palate than I do.
So you're thinking that 2 is the bottled and bond?
No, I think number 1 very well could be number 1,
Okay.
not 2.
That's where I was getting, because we're talking about that proof neutral would be bottled and bond.
I don't think
Right,
2
at
is
100.
that. I don't think
Right.
2 is that.
Right, but you are saying that you think 1 is
I
bottom
think
of
1
bond,
could be. Yeah.
but that's 100 proof then.
I think 1 could be that.
Which that would be proof neutral.
Right.
rather than-
Yeah. We're kind of getting
Exactly.
thrown off on.
Which I didn't even know, considering that until the previous
I'm the
episode
rookie
doing
here,
with,
so
right.
just let me be
with
me.
Adam letting.
It was funny in a previous episode we watched. It happened to be Josh and Adam was saying, "Oh, I think this is proof neutral," and Josh was like, I think at least 90, because he was taking proof neutral as being 80, like the lowest you can get in a proof.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's got to be higher than 80. And so he was saying 90. And so it was like, and then we explained what proof neutral we thought was. And he's like, okay, that makes sense. Because it was like definitely not 80 proof.
That was exactly like me in the first episode where you guys, like, where do you think? I'm like, I'd sit about average, like, around a little over 80, 85, 90. And they're like, well, no, we consider neutral 100. I'm like, oh.
I know. We almost have to like put a disclaimer every time we start an episode. Like, for us, neutral is 100. So,
and it's funny because the collection that I've just started building since I started doing this, 3 of my 5 bottles are lower proof.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You'll get there.
That's just what I grabbed.
I told you, welcome to the rabbit hole. Yeah.
I was the same way when I went and saw like the first, Bourbon Bond. Oh, it's always 100 proof. I'm like, oh, so that's one of the strongers. And then you go and get something. Oh, that's 105, 106. Oh, here's your cast strength. I'm like, oh, I'm up to 126.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, one of these is actually 125. So, I mean, have we tasted it already, or are we going to go to it? We don't know.
Find out real quick.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
I do have a favorite of these two, one of these two. And I guess I might as well just start. Starting with one, it was still tasty. Like, these are pretty tasty options, but I think 2 is a little better. Just it's sweeter, it's more approachable, it's just enjoyable, and so I'm going with 2.
Yeah, I literally, when we were trying to think of which one would I go with, and I like 1, but like that's what I'm going to have. So it's what am I deciding I like more? Do I like the one that I'm just going to have that one to start the night, or the one that I could have several over a longer period?
All night.
Like, exactly. Like, this is my session drink. I do like the sweetness and smoothness. I'll go with 2 on that.
Yeah, I like number 2 as well.
All right, here's the 2.
I feel bad for 1 more. You're still good, number 1. You're still good.
Just pet it. But yeah, going back to that, it does have a little.
Chris Farley.
I love you, little ass. Oh, that'd be more of Adam Sandler.
Right.
You're still my favorite number 1.
That sounds like Austin Powers.
Yeah, baby.
Right? Well, behave.
How many have we tasted so far?
Yeah, no kidding, right? It's already affecting.
We're moving into going to the next step.
Yeah, now we're 3 and 4, so.
All right, here we go. Let's see if I can't wait to see if I'm right on 1.
Yeah, all these bottles have the same topper, the same bottle shape. It's really, you almost have to read the label to be able to decide what they are. And also, like, there's a sleeve around the neck, which is a different color for each option. And so if you know the color variances, you'll know what they are. This
is another one that doesn't have much punch to it at all off the nose, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so far I am not getting much on the nose on any of these.
It's one for me had a lot more.
Oh, did it?
A lot more on the nose.
One had a lot more on the nose, left a lot more. This one, I almost want to say, this one almost to me is a bit sweeter than 2, but it's got a bit more spice to it.
Yes. Yeah, and
not much of a burn at all.
No, it's just there. It's like it's
barely.
It's a stronger burn, not stronger, but almost like sharper. But then it goes and fades away, and it hits different spots. Like the other ones were on the back, on the side of the tongue, and this is almost more kind of on the top of the sides, which I also kind of associate that being more with a bit of sweetness.
Man.
Yeah.
This one's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying all of them, actually.
This is really, it doesn't have,
I'm having a tough time figuring out what the proof of these are, though. Because
my thinking right now, knowing this, because you kind of said what ones we have between 98, Bottled and Bond, I don't know what the 4th one would be, and then the one up to 126.
Oh, this is definitely not that.
No, this is not. These, so far, 2 and 3
are not.
Seem similar in...
Okay.
In that 98, maybe 98.
98 to 100, something like that. One
was punchy.
Yep.
See, now the second taste I took, it's got more of a burn now. The first one didn't. The second taste did.
To me, it's not like a proof burn, though. To me, it's almost like a spice.
It's kind of hanging
Yeah,
there.
Spice
it's
thing.
different. It's on a different spot of the tongue.
Yeah.
And I will say now, there's a little bit of a taste lingering, like almost the smell I had before in my hand from the other one. It's actually, there's a little bit of taste in the back of my throat lingering, kind
Yes.
of a.
And it's not unpleasant. It's
No.
not, it's not unpleasant. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Like a sweeter kind of doughy bready sort of tasty thingy.
Like these E's. Bready, tasty, spicy.
As long as we don't try nailing down like what type of apple and where it was grown and the soil content.
That is true. We need Becca for that.
Oh my gosh! I taste green apple. I'm like,
Right?
what?
It's like you went
I
and
applaud
read.
you, but I don't taste apple.
You read one of the professional things that they wrote on
Yeah.
it. Like, oh, I'll remember these. Oh, yes, this one's
This,
the green
this
apple.
came out of the grain territory in the Nicaraguan forest.
The problem is she keeps asking for royalties every time we mention her name. So I'm like, okay, we got to stop it.
And you just did it again.
I know. It's like,
another check.
here comes the check. Yep. Yeah, these are all pretty tasty. I'm gonna go to 4 now. 4 to me looked a little darker than 3. Again, though, like Joe said, they're all relatively similar.
4 sitting out. 4 looks darker in general. Of all the ones you could kind of see, I think it looks
This
dark.
one smells punchy, just like one.
Yep.
Yeah.
More. There's definitely more. I still. It's This I'm gonna say.
I don't know if it's more.
I
Well,
think
more punchy than the others. There's more there. I don't know if it's.
This one's punchier than one.
One, I smell at the tannins now.
Todd's shaking his head.
I
He
am.
likes This one.
I know exactly which
Todd
one.
likes this one. He's waiting for me to take a sip, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh shit! Yeah, that's the hot one." I know that's what's waiting. He's waiting for it.
Chewy agrees. Chewy agrees.
Yep.
Yeah, prepare yourself when you go for it.
I let it go in and then tried to go and breathe in and nope, all that alcohol is aerosol right to the back of the throat.
Spice. Yeah, I got spice. I got cinnamon. I got cinnamon in this thing. I got heat in this thing.
Yep.
I got all of it. But I'll say the burn to it is not nearly as much as one. One had a longer burn for me than this one.
Did it?
I really.
I agree. Granted,
This
I
one's
was
got some
distracted
really
by
good flavor.
Chewy, but it does. The burn, one really left a long, lingering burn
This one's not
on
as
the
long.
sides. This one's, it was there. The back of my throat still has a bit from inhaling. But
True, but I mean, again, one was the very first whiskey of the day for us. So that's going to stick around longer no matter what it is, I think. I mean, you know what I mean?
This one's good. I really like this.
this is good. It is. It has a bit of the burn in the back of the throat.
But it's not like
It's not the burn. It literally, I just went this time, swished it around a little bit. The burn started on one part of the tongue, and then it kind of like moves a little bit. So it's not like the first one seemed like it's gonna burn and tingle here, and it stayed there. This kind of moved from the back sides of the tongue and then moved up onto the top. So it's kind of got a combo of the burn of 3.
I don't
3
know,
is the
man.
one that had the bit on the top. No, it's not as, this didn't have as much burn, but where it went and burned. This kind of combines 1 and 3.
I think 4 has got the longest burn because it's still stewing in my throat.
But I think
Really?
it accentuates the sweetness, though.
Yeah.
It's
It's got a
like
great
it's almost
taste.
like it's like
got a
that
great
heat
flavor.
accentuates the sweetness. So it's like that sweetness almost has a savory aspect to it.
It
so
does.
this is gonna sound really weird, but out of all of these, I'm thinking Big Red bubble gum for number 4. Like there's a whole lot of cinnamon in that.
When you
thing.
said cinnamon
I don't know
earlier,
what
now
they
that's
do to that to
now
get
that's
it.
in my head, and now that sitting there, I was literally thinking of like, oh yeah, like
It's
the
like-
big red bubble gum kind of.
100% taste cinnamon in that one.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I got that from any of the other ones. So why is that?
I think it. I mean, the brain takes information and tries to sort it out, and I think sometimes you get a high proof with maybe a little bit of rye, and it your brain is like what am I deciphering here? And I think it goes to like a big red type thing. And I don't know what the mash bill is on these. I don't know if it's a high rye. And with that extra proof, it just, I think, like I said, accentuates that sweetness, which I'm a fan. I'm obviously, I think it's apparent which one I'm going to pick. I wish I could have more notes on 3. Like
Yeah, it was a sweet spicy. This one is sweeter, spicier.
Yes.
I agree. It's almost like 3 is just missing what 4 has.
Well, it's like 4 in my mind is almost like a combination of 3 and 1.
Sure.
1 didn't have much of the sweetness, but it had definitely some more of the burn. 3 had just a little bit of tingling and more sweetness. And then 4 is like, let's just take the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I'm like, right now I'm thinking in my head, how should I edit this? Should I, like, every time you say a glass number, just throw the bottle up there? Like, boom, 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 boom. Pow! Right. Pow! This is what he's talking about. No, this is what he's talking about.
Go.
No, he's talking about this.
Do like the old school 1960s Batman.
Right.
3, bam. Pow! Bam!
What is that called? Like
it's the bottle.
Onomatopoeia or something? Isn't that called like a...
Is that?
Yeah, it's like when you have like explanation or big like things, it's like a... And I'll put it on here. It's onomatopoeia or something. I'll mute myself.
We'll have word of the day. Onomatopoeia, cornucopia.
I didn't do too gooder in English class.
Well, that's why we're teaching. Wait.
I must put more emphasis on syllables.
We're trying to educate people.
All right, well, I'm ready to pick.
Yep.
Yeah, I am too.
So 4.
4.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked through it.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of heat.
4 is good.
Yeah. And proof has a taste of its own. Like, it really does. Like, it...
Remember when we did the double oak?
Yes.
That's probably the last podcast I did with you.
Sure.
The double oak. And I was like the Peerless double oak rye, I think it
Oh.
was. I'm trying to get a bottle. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find one.
Yeah.
I can't. I haven't been able to find one.
Right.
But that's like goes against what my palate has been so far. I like more mellow, kind of da.
Right.
But when I took a sip of that thing, I was like, there was so much flavor in it that I didn't care what proof it was.
You're right.
I didn't care
Yeah.
because I had never had that taste on my palate.
Yeah.
And it was really blew me away. So I'm on the hunt. 2 of my friends are looking for one.
Nice.
And I said, if you find a bottle of that, buy it and I'll pay you for it. Like,
No, that was a very delicious... It's a flavor bomb.
unbelievable.
Because it's got the proof, it's got the double oak, and it's got the rye. So it's like...
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really
bottle.
is.
I'm for sure having to add
Yeah.
one of those to my collection. For sure.
Yeah, I know. In the quarterly taste-off that went against, because it was a monthly winner, and it ended up going against the Billy Goat and the Cabin Strength. And the Cabin Strength is a Wisconsin bourbon, and the Cabin Strength ended up winning, and it's just delicious.
Really?
That the Central Waters?
Central Standard.
Central Standard.
Yes.
I have... They had at Myers, they had the Cabin Strength in like an outdoor bottle. It's a metal bottle with a metal screw-off top.
Wow.
I have it in my little mini fridge at home.
You actually picked it up? The Cabin Strength?
It was back in a clearance area. So it's in this little bottle with it in, and it was like $20-some.
Wow.
And it's the Cabin Strength.
Yep.
So why would they change the packaging of it?
I don't know. I was going to grab my phone and try and look.
That's okay. You can send it to me and I'll put it on.
We'll do it as a bam.
Boom.
Onomatopoeia.
Ow. Kaboom. Kablooey.
This is going to be a lot of effects on this one. Fireworks and sparkles.
You're going to have to go and edit the video, and everyone's going to have like, a Batman outfit, a different one from the years.
So I figured,
Everybody listening on like Apple Podcasts and Spotify is like going right to YouTube or Rumble right now. Like, I got to see this.
I figured out why Todd keeps the temperature low in his house. Because right now my face is warm from just these tastings and laughing. I'm warm now.
Right?
When I came in here, I was like, "What am I
It's
in,
a
a
little-
meat
yeah,
locker? What
yep.
the hell?"
Yeah.
And now I'm perfectly toasted.
See?
I feel like there's a fireplace right behind me.
Yes. Yeah. And I didn't turn up the heat at all. It's all about personality.
It's
and
unbelievable. You warm me up, Todd.
I love it. And I didn't even have to do anything weird.
Didn't have to.
Right.
Doesn't mean you didn't.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Anyways, bourbon.
Yeah. Well, we're already laughing and joking. Let's do some dad jokes.
More dad jokes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna open this up to a random page, and I'm just gonna. I love that one. Was it you that? You might have been the one that. Oh, it was you.
The alphabet soup.
The alphabet soup.
I just watched that again.
The bowel
last night.
movements. That was hilarious. All right, so here we go. What position does your brother play on the football team? That's from Adam, and then Jen answers. I think he's one of the drawbacks. What the frick?
What the hell's a drawback?
He's a
idea.
drawback. Like it's he's a downside. He's a here's a drawback for that.
That
like
is-
That joke is terrible.
It was reaching.
Can I get a refund for this book?
At least
That-
get 50 cents back.
That was terrible.
That was ridiculous.
That wasn't even close to funny.
No, a drawback. We'll get it. Like
If funny was a galaxy, that joke would have been in Uranus.
Okay, this is apparently under the you can't
that's in our
make this
solar
stuff
system.
up.
You don't need to go to the galaxy.
Real life funnies. So
All right, here we
from a
go.
real court transcript question. Now, your complaint alleges that you have had some problems with concentration since the accident. Does that condition continue today? No, not really. I take a stool softener now.
So not concentration, constipation.
I'd say, yep, there's still some concentration issue.
And that's actually from a.
It says, yep, real life. from a
Real life.
Real court transcript.
Wow.
Maybe if I would have taken more X-Lax in 7th grade pre-algebra, I wouldn't have got kicked
You
out
could
of
have
class as
concentrated a bit
much.
better.
Yeah. You would know how to tweet better.
Oh, do I have to do one?
You, of course you do.
Okay, so
Of course you do.
Randomly open this book
You can't.
and I gotta read it.
We can't have some people looking stupid and others not.
I was going to say, you're not better than us.
Best joke of the day.
Here we go. Hey.
Where should you never take a dog?
Many places, but
The Chinese market?
oh, that's a good one. Never take a dog to the cat sitter.
Ready?
Yeah.
To the flea market.
Oh.
Wow!
That's a groaner.
That's an awesome joke.
All right, now I'm glad I bought the book.
Due to the day for the joke of the
Dude
day.
of the day. Love it. Well, let's go back to drinking because that's
Yep.
better than the jokes.
Yep.
Yeah, if we were doing stand-up, I think we would have been kicked out of
Exactly.
the club by now.
Well, we're going to bring in the bottles that were voted out, and that was 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
So we'll go and get those. All right, so we're back with the bottles, and
Am I right? I'm curious.
well, what did you think? What did you think one was?
I thought 1 might have been the bottle and bond, but now I'm starting to think maybe 4, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's either 1 or 4.
4, I think, is the, like you said, the cask strength.
You
I'm
may
kind
be
of
right.
thinking 1 might be the single barrel.
Let's find
Yeah.
out. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
1 is the single barrel.
You were right. Okay.
Oh, I am good.
So then that means 4 is we're not gonna
Potentially.
talk about 4.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I am going to read the back of that thing, or unless you want to read the back, because I'll put it up on the screen as you're reading it.
Don't ask me to read it. I
Don't have your glasses.
In
Yeah.
order to create this unique bourbon, the finest barrels are selected and tasted from the best aging warehouses. Only those barrels deemed exceptional are then bottled individually, one by one. This preserves the distinct character of each barrel. The superior bourbon has flavors of rich butterscotch and caramel notes. I totally
didn't
wrote
get any
that
of
down.
that. I didn't get any
No.
butterscotch out of that one.
Delicately balanced with hints of fruit and toffee. There was that green apple.
From what part of North America did that apple come from?
Right. And it's kind of not fair when you do bring in like single barrels to these because it totally depends on the barrel. Like the barrel, the wood, depending on what the wood is or how old it was and where it grew.
It could have been under a slow drip in the roof,
Sure.
a little water down.
So this was basically proof neutral at 90, 98, 99.
98. Yep. Yeah.
So I thought
That's
it was
interesting.
definitely higher, but yeah, I guess the single barrel kind of the way it didn't, despite what it said of butterscotch and caramel, that didn't
Right.
get that sweetness. That's so nothing.
I
there
thought for
to hide.
sure that was a higher proof than
Yeah.
that.
I kind of
Because
figured.
it's still burning, and I drank it like 20 minutes ago.
But it's 98, which is right around 100.
Yeah,
But it doesn't have to be aged for the 4 years. Although, I mean, it is a bourbon, so it has to say if it's not. But again, you get one barrel and not blend it. Like there's a small batch in here where you could take, and I don't know how big their small batch is, whether it's 100 barrels or 200 barrels, but at least it's a blending. And so you're taking some good barrels, some bad barrels, but you're blending and you're getting rid of the discrepancies. Where with a single barrel, you have to take that discrepancy no matter what, you know? Yeah. And so that's kind of why I thought that might be the single barrel. And of course I was right.
Yeah, so that then I know
He is so modest.
I now know what the bottle and bond was, but we'll talk about that later.
Sure, exactly. And then, well, now we'll go to 3 because that one lost to 4. What do you think 3 was? To me, 3 kind of got lost in the flavor. Although we were picking up some,
there was some sweetness to it.
There was sweetness to it. What do you think the proof was? Do you think it was lower than 100 or right at 100? Because I think 4 was the high proof.
I think 3 was the lower. It's lower.
So you think this might be the small batch then? Because that's 93 proof.
I think so.
I was thinking at 2. I would almost think would be the.
You think 2's the bottle and bond?
2's the small.
No, 2 is not the bottle and bond.
So you think? Well, then 3 must be the bottle and bond then.
I think 4 is, or I don't know. You know.
Okay, well, let's find out.
Let's find out. I could.
That's the small batch.
So this is the 93 proof. So it's the small batch, which it's still flavorful.
It was very good.
Yeah.
I really like it.
You even mentioned, you said you might go pick up a bottle of this.
I said pleasant and burn nice.
Yeah.
Is what I wrote.
And this is pretty affordable. This small batch is an affordable bottle. Now, you can see the bottle shapes and the bottle toppers. They look the same. You do definitely have to read the top of it to see if it's a single barrel or a small batch because they're almost identical, other than there's a band around the neck, which is different. Mm-hmm. And I'll just read the back of this one. It is named in honor of the year Kentucky joined the United States. 1792 small batch bourbon is made from a marriage of a few select barrels carefully chosen by our master distiller. This refined bourbon elevates Kentucky distilling to exceptional new heights. Celebrated by whiskey connoisseurs worldwide, the subtleties of 1792 make it incomparably brash and bold, yet smooth and balanced. So it was,
and I like 3. Yeah. I think if we were to do like a runner-up, I think that would be the runner-up.
They didn't mention anything of what kind of sweetness notes, because we definitely got more sweetness on that than 1.
Right.
I put sweeter than number 2 on my notes.
Okay.
I actually wrote sweeter than number 2.
Yep. No, it was.
Well, let's take a little
reminder.
gander down memory lane here.
That is tasty. I'm impressed with all of these so far. Like I'm a fan.
Yep.
So I know what's left. Obviously, we've got a bottle and bond, which I'm always a fan of. So that's 100 proof, and then we've got a full proof at 125.
See, that's so weird because I'm like completely screwed up right now.
Are you?
Because I would never in a million years think number 2 is either one of them.
Well, a million years is a long time. I'm sure you would eventually found out.
Call 2 million. So-called 2 million years.
Okay.
But I'm like, I can't believe that one is the bottle and bond and one is the cast strength. I'm surprised by that.
I'm not. I'm a fan of those kind of proofs. I really am.
Not saying. I'm just saying that from my initial tasting. Like I thought for sure number 1 was going to be one of those 2 picks.
Sure.
And I was completely wrong. Like I'm not even in the same zip code. Don't listen to anything that I've said today.
No, I disagree. I think you're doing a good job. I mean, people do want to get your take on things. You're just surprised because
I'm very surprised. Yeah. Very, very surprised.
Because of, I think typically, like you said, you typically go for lower proof stuff. You like gentle, bourbon tastings, but you are getting more into it, and you will find there's a switch where it's like I do like higher proof.
But let me ask you: would you think right now at this point that 2 and 4 were the bottle and bond and cast strength? I can't believe
4. I would definitely say is the cast strength.
Yes, I agree.
2. I thought that 2 tasted like it had less than 1.
I agree with you 100%.
But we're also learning from this that there's certain things that can go and hide that.
Yes.
I mean,
It's amazing. I'm like amazed right now.
But 1 and 2, you're talking about a 100 proofer next to a 98er proofer. Like, it's only two proofs off. Like, it's basically
exactly.
the same.
It is, but they definitely tasted like 2 had more. So I'm like, yeah, like you're saying, these are basically should have almost the same kind of burn, except that all the other factors in there, the barreling. I mean, so this was the single barrel. So yeah, technically you could have a couple of different bottles of this, different barrel.
Correct.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, so 3 versus 1. This is 93.7 proof. I that makes sense to me now. Now that I know the proofs, that one was way more punchy than this one.
Yeah. To me,
now 2 and 4, I'm like, what?
4
No
definitely
way.
had a lot more punch. I would have thought that, 1 would have been up there. I mean, I guess it is still. Anyways,
yes.
I'm like,
we're gonna taste 2 and 4 and find out.
2 and 4.
I'm like completely.
I'm gonna go back to 2.
Yeah.
I do, Chris, agree with you. I think 4 is the full proof, and I think 2 is the bottle and bond, which is delicious, and I love bottle and bond. And
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm shocked. Like, I'm shocked. I am.
I wish I knew how you felt.
I am. I am shocked.
If I were to guess, I would say you're shocked.
SHOCKED.
I don't know. Seems a bit more shocked.
Shocked for the win.
This is definitely a learning episode.
Yeah, not a spelling bee, apparently.
As he said, he don't do the English so gooder.
That's right.
Cat.
Did you say tats?
K-A-T.
K-A-T. Cat.
Tats. T-A-T-S. Tats.
Right. Are you sure there's not an I instead of the A? All right. There's definitely alcohol in these glasses.
Woo! Give me another.
Yep, exactly. That's delicious.
It is really good.
Sign me up. I'm a fan.
Yeah, no, it is just
I can't believe
enough burn and smooth.
Let me guess. You're shocked?
I'm mad. I'm like, there's
That's
no
just
way
it.
that's
That's
a
what
bottle
kind of
and
gets
bond.
you on some of the bottle and bonds. I mean, because like the first time I had the Henry McKenna 10-year.
Sure. It's
that
a bottle
one-
and bond.
I was gonna say that was bottle. Like,
Yep.
It's like 10, wait, no, that's right. It's minimum of 4 years.
It's bottle and bond. It's a 10-year, and it's a single barrel.
Is it? It is single. Okay.
Yeah.
If this would have been in the bottle and bond tasting that I did with you a while back, this would have won, hands down.
Yeah.
If that's what this ends up being, I can't believe this is. I can't believe it. There's a mix-up. There's something wrong here. Somebody switched a bottle or put the wrong number on it.
Well-
or something. I don't know.
It's now.
It's really good. It was really good.
It's now in the record books. It's been documented. Joe is shocked,
Yes.
and he's impressed.
I'm impressed. I really like this one.
Yeah.
Going back to 4, I mean, smelling that now, I kind of picking up more of the caramely tones in the smell.
Yeah.
On this.
I just can't believe this. I just can't believe it.
I think he's still shocked.
I'm getting frustrated with this.
Like I said, I wish we understood what he was experiencing.
It's shocking.
That is, I just like that. I mean, it almost feels like it goes in a bit thicker, and then literally just letting it roll past the tongue, burns here, moves to burn here, moves to burn here, and then trails off, leaving the. It's
and again, the full proof ended up getting like the 2020 whiskey of the year, and I'm starting to understand why.
Yep.
Like I'm getting brown sugars. I'm getting just
Cinnamon, big red, like we talked about.
caramel.
Yep.
I'm not getting that big red as much. It's
am.
different flavors, I think.
It's but I see what he's saying.
Yeah, I do too. Because there is a spice. There's a spice.
It's not like the super strong of that, but it's the way that gum
Yeah.
when you had it and it literally left the burn on your tongue a little bit. That tingling,
Okay,
with that
yeah.
hint of flavor, and that's kind of I'm like, yeah, that's literally the sensation. It's almost like a flashback.
So for me, I will go back to the double oak rye tasting we did, where I'm a double oak Woodford guy. Mm-hmm. I like that. Whenever I can get it, and I'm out traveling, I get it. The Peerless that was in that group blew that away. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, I was like, Joe, what do you like? I like that one. And it was the Peerless. I feel the same way about this.
Yeah.
Like, 4 has just got just so much different. It's just on a different level. Like, it can't.
Yep.
It's not that 2 is bad. It's just 4 has just got so much more in the profile.
I'm literally here.
Put in there is just so good.
It's so much, and I'm literally here thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, with the being the, assuming that this is
exactly,
we don't know. Shocked, but
right?
I don't think we're going to be shocked.
I don't think so either, but it's potentially an option.
If this were to go and have either a couple drops of water or just a nice large solid cube in there or something like that just kind of helps open it up, I'm like, this would just go and get even better.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's good right now like this.
Yeah, it's a candy.
It is.
It's a candy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Time to pick a winner.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, I'm easily going to go for 4. I mean,
4.
Believe me, I love Bourbon Bond, but when you have a proof, and I mentioned it as a candy, and like you said, you can water it down, add some ice, and have so many different more options to pick from as far as what your favorite proof is. Like, I'm going with 4.
What was the proof on 4?
125.
Yeah, see, and that would be nothing that I would pick.
Sure.
We assume.
We
actually don't know yet.
Yeah.
Our assumption is that definitely this is 100 and this is 125.
And this for listeners.
2, this is 100 in my mind.
So just for the record, all my glasses are empty.
Yeah.
I liked all of them.
Yeah,
okay?
of course.
But number 4 for me.
Perfect. I thought you were going to go for the Bourbon Bond because you were so shocked.
Number 4 for me.
All right, here's the 4. Woo! All right, well done, number 4. And let's, instead of keep talking about it, and there's a very small chance that we're wrong.
Yep.
Let's bring them out and talk about them.
Yep.
I'm surprised I emptied all my glasses before Todd.
Yes.
But I did, and I'm really super excited about that.
I don't know what episode I started doing this, but I started like saving some so that when the reveal came, I started drinking it, because you do get a sense of extra knowledge when you actually bring them out and talk about them, and then you taste it, and it's like, oh, you kind of taste what they're trying to represent, because you have this extra knowledge on it, where it's almost like, smelling influences the taste. Knowledge influences the taste too, and that's why I tend to not want to taste anything I ever bring into these episodes, because I want to experience it new, like whoever my extra hosts are, because they have no clue what. I mean, you guys did not know what this tasting was going to be before it even started. You're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "You'll find out when I talk about it." So it's
but for the record, I liked all of them.
Yeah.
Yep. No.
Like, I could literally go get one of each. And be happy with that.
You would. Yeah.
So,
all you have to see is the
very
bottle
good.
shape and pick it up, because
Joe emptied all of his.
Yes.
I still like doing like you said, to go and taste it again as we did it. I also like Adam's idea of the infinity glass.
Well, you can get some after we open it and find out. But you were saying?
Adam's infinity glass, where he basically goes and takes the losers and mixes them together to go and see what it is. And I'm very curious, because when we tasted one and it seemed higher proof with the extra burn, it's just more the single barrel, about neutral. And 3, which was a lot of the sweeter, I'm like 4 kind of combined the higher burn with some of that sweetness. So I literally have written down 3 + 1 = 4. So I'm going to be very curious to see how 3 + 1 tastes.
Ooh.
Oh,
I want to see this too. So do you want to do that before we reveal, or do you want to find out?
I'm going to try just before we reveal.
Okay.
is that not like
So for the record,
bourbon blasphemy?
For the record, on Spotify or Apple Podcast, Chris combined 1 with 3 to try to see if it equals 4.
That is good. Wow.
Hey, Barton, if you're listening,
hey Barton,
take
1792.
note.
Yeah,
You know what? I've got a little bit left too. I'm going to do that too. 1 and 3.
Damn
you
it,
said,
I knew
huh?
I shouldn't have drank all mine.
You didn't make a mistake. Don't worry.
Screwed up.
There is no mistake.
There's no mistake.
Now I smell a little bit more of the burn. It kind of brings out.
That is good.
Isn't it?
These yokels are drinking bourbon, and I'm drinking a Gatorade.
So-
'cause I drank all mine.
So there is such a thing as an Old Forester 1915. And the way you make it is you combine a 1910 with a 1920 and you make a 1915. There's actually no 1915, but they say that you can do it.
Do it.
So 1920 is a higher proof, and 1910 is a lower proof, but a little more sweet, and you combine them, and it's pretty tasty. And this is what we're doing right now. We're taking
Yep.
1 and 3. What would be 1 and 3? So we took a single barrel, mixing it with the small batch, and we're creating a 1793.
It definitely doesn't have the higher proof.
1793 plus 1/2.
Right.
I definitely wouldn't get it as being like the higher proof that we believe 4 is, but it just leaves a bit more body in there. That's kind of there. The burn is still tingling a little bit.
It is
reveal.
flavorful.
All right,
I know.
I want to know what the
He's
hell
like, I need to get more filler.
I want to know what the heck we did.
I'm guessing this is going to be the Bottle and Bond. And it is the Bottle and Bond. And guess what? What do you think the proof is?
100.
Nice job. You are a pro. All Bottle and Bonds are 100.
I don't think I'm a pro.
But you know enough to know that.
I'm learning enough to be dangerous.
That's right. And I'm just going to read the back of it, see if it's any different than the other ones. It says in 1897, which is not 1792, but in 1897, the Bottle and Bond Act revolutionized the quality of American whiskey. Bourbon labeled Bottle and Bond guaranteed drinkers high-quality whiskey made by a legitimate distiller. Carrying on that tradition, this well-aged bourbon from barrels all filled during the same season was bottled at exactly 100 proof. For a bold taste and lingering finish, it did have that, a testament to the Bottle and Bond Act established over a century ago. Again, I really have not had a Bottle and Bond I didn't enjoy. Bottle and Bond is such an awesome category with bourbons and whiskeys.
It was really good.
Very good.
2 was really good. As good as 4 was, I really did like number 2.
And you were shocked.
And I was amazingly shocked.
It is
I want to
good.
read the back of that bottle.
Absolutely.
Let me read that.
Absolutely. Do you want to take it out? See what the winner was? Let's find out. We do know. We do know.
So we got the full proof.
It is the full proof. And this is the winner. You said you wanted to read the back.
I would like to.
Go ahead and read the back.
So we've got...
it is delicious.
Bourbon insiders have long acknowledged that the full proof bourbon has a distinctly rich flavor. This bourbon has been bottled at its original 125 barrel entry proof, just as it was years ago, when the barrels were first filled. Strong and full flavor, this bold bourbon boasts an incredible deep and smoky taste, superbly balanced with sweet vanilla and notes of caramel.
I agree.
Ooh,
and that was the 2020 whiskey
it's good
of the year.
It's good.
It was. It
so
deserved
good, I
it.
want some more.
Have some. Open it up and pour it. Yeah, that was delicious, and it rightfully won. And I want to just slowly pause a little bit, get Joe's secondary reaction from tasting this Bourbon Taste Off Whiskey winner, episode 44 winner. And for those listening, he's currently bringing it to his nose, and he's giving it a little sniff. He's taking a little nosing of it, and he's what?
This is the color guy.
It's a play-by-play.
Play-by-play color.
Stop.
He's bringing it to his lips. He's
Sniff
taking
to his
it.
lips.
He's
First
not
going
able.
back, you can see on his face.
He's not able to do
He
it.
is shocked. He is shocked right now. That is a man in shock.
Look at those lips, girl. Go.
Ooh,
And
lick
his
those
reaction.
lips.
Oh, he's sweating. He's sweating a little bit.
He's liking that.
He comes in saying it's a meat locker in here, saying it's really cold,
Looking
but he's
around
sweating
in
now.
thought.
Oh, what's he going to say?
Thinking of words. Thinking of words. What's going to be? What are your thoughts, Joe?
Buy it.
Love it. Chewy agrees.
Joe's stamp of approval. Buy it.
Careful. This is awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for coming out and helping me figure out which 1792 is the best. You guys are hilarious. I'm laughing. I'm crying. I'm
4.
All right.
Number 4.
2's been added to the infinity glass.
There we go. We're joining it all together, making one happy mix of a situation. I can't even finish this episode.
4. 4.
That
Come
took
on.
it back a notch.
What?
Oh, it worsened
4.
it.
4.
4.
It worsened it. 4.
It literally, it kind of, which is weird for that being the bottle and bond, but it kind of blended some things out.
Sure.
The 1+3 was excellent. This, I'm like, it's all right.
Well, it goes to show you can't.
Nope.
Sometimes you can't perfect on perfection,
Exactly.
which is maybe a thing, maybe not. Who knows? Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Please watch our next episode or listen to our next episode. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you next episode.
What's the theme today?
I'll let you know.
Yep, there's definitely a theme here. Because these, not one looks different than the other from first glance.
Is it yellow liquors?
So,
Don't eat-
Asian
Don't eat
liquor.
the yellow, don't eat the yellow snow.
Wow.
Don't drink the yellow booze.
Oh yeah, we are so not PC here.
Today's samples were brought to us by Chewy and the Snow.
Right.